Welcome back to NEMT Van Talks. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Monica.
And today we are talking about a hot topic, y'all. So last week on our local news station, there was a very interesting story, right? Monica's going to go ahead and read the headline title.
Woman steals shuttle with elderly cancer patient still inside and lead police in a wild chase.
Woo!
This the wild, wild west.
When I heard that on the morning news, you guys, I was like, what is the world coming to? It is wild, wild west out here.
Girl, just to see that vehicle riding down the road in a high-speed chase with the door wide open.
Probably not recommended. It's just too big. The center of gravity is too high. You have a woman in there being held captive, we understand. She would be put in danger if they were to pit this and the vehicle would flip over. And at these types of speeds, with as many people we have out on the roadways here at 9:15, 9:20 in the morning, looks like golden age is what it says on the side of the van there, that transport vehicle. And I think the studio is calling me. This could end here with this vehicle pulling into a driveway where there's a fence and LAPD vehicles pulling up behind her.
Took off. It was unbelievable.
When Elliot Galinsky got a call this morning letting him know that one of his vans from Golden Age Adult Day Healthcare Center had been stolen while picking up clients, he didn't panic at first. Then he found out a 93-year-old man was inside when the driver took off and led police on a pursuit. The chase began near Fulton Avenue and Burbank Boulevard in the Van Nuys area and zigzagged through the San Fernando Valley.
The only thing I could think is I have to save this poor guy in my van. Luckily, I have tracking devices on all the vans, so I tracked the van, called the police, directed they deployed the helicopters and ground units.
So this is how it all went down. Elliot tells us the 93-year-old man had already been placed inside the van, but as his driver was helping a second client get inside, the female suspect jumped into the driver's seat and took off, all while this passenger door was wide open and the 93-year-old man still inside.
My father-in-law had no seatbelt. The door was open. She's driving frantically. My father-in-law, he held on to everything so he doesn't fall off the car.
Kambis Marabi tells us his father-in-law, 93-year-old Abby Javahari, is fighting cancer and told him he thought he was going to die during this pursuit.
He said to me many times, I said, please stop. And if you want, stop, I can get off the car. And she didn't respond. He's thinking, God, please save me and save her as well.
Meantime, the driver swerved across lanes and dodged traffic at high speeds on busy streets. But the chase fortunately came to an end when the driver pulled up to a gate in a driveway to a business parking lot. She was surrounded, so she surrendered. Mr. Javahari was safe and uninjured.
Truly grateful that it ended the way it ended and that everybody's okay.
At the end, he was thankful that he's alive.
I was just like, I can only imagine what the business owner was thinking, not even knowing that it was a passenger inside. I'm just like, oh my God.
I know. But it also says a woman stole a healthcare facility van with a 93-year-old patient inside and fled from police with the doors open, which led to a wild chase throughout San Fernando Valley. The article also states that the woman, they're assuming that she is homeless, and it also states that the driver was actually the driver was actually loading a second patient into the vehicle. So
it happened so quickly. He had literally just walked away, opened the door, walked into the facility to pick up a second client, and he left the vehicle unattended because he was probably thinking, oh, it's only going to take me a minute or so to pick up this patient, this client, and load him in the vehicle. It's not going to be long. But what we want you guys to know, something very simple such as that little second, minute, whatever, can cause you so much pain, headache, if you don't properly train your drivers, right? And so that's our reason really for really talking about this situation, because it is so important that for this reason that you do train your drivers, right? And I think this video alone should be implemented. I'm sure the business owner is going to go back and retrain all of their drivers.
I hope so.
Yes, they're going to have to, because you got to think about, not only is this going to affect his insurance, right? And so now I'm sure the insurance company, they're going to want to know, like, what type of current policies do you have in place, if not to address this issue, but how do you plan on addressing this with your drivers, right?
And I think it's a simple mishap too, because like you said, he's probably like, okay, I'm finna be in and out, like. But then also, I know we think like that, like we finna be in and out, we got a patient in the van. But what about that 90-something-year-old patient that's just sitting in the van? My thoughts are, how was the weather that day? Because it's been really hot here in LA, even though we had all that rain. But after that rain, it's been really hot. So you got the 90-something-year-old patient in the vehicle while you're running into a facility to grab another patient. He's unattended, right? What is his mental state? Like, you know, a lot of questions arise. So I just think, like, if you are going to be providing door-to-door service, going inside of facilities while you have other patients in the vehicle, maybe you need to assign a second attendant to that particular vehicle.
There you go.
To keep an eye on everything. But another thing though is, if she got in the vehicle that quickly, then the vehicle must have still been running,
and the keys were still left inside of the ignition,
right,
as well. So
it could have been something as simple as him just taking those keys out, holding on to the keys while he run in there and get the client. So I mean, but he probably didn't think anything of it. But I mean, this is a perfect scenario of what can happen, things that can arise that can affect your business. Because like Monica said, his insurance is probably going to go up. And then I'm thinking about the poor guy.
Yes.
The poor, I mean, that was a traumatic experience.
Oh my God. You have to see you should have saw him, like, when they were unloading, when they finally did apprehend this.
Well, we're going to.
But you also, you mentioned a lot of key points. One being that if you're going to be picking up multiple patients, then you should have a second attendant, because when you go through your training, they told you should not be leaving a patient unattended at all. And so even if even if the driver was going in to pick up a second patient, he just left one patient unattended. That should have never happened as well. So you're absolutely correct, and that's one of the reasons too that you have to think about those things when you're multi-loading. It may be making the business money because you're multi-loading, you're being able to add more than one person in your vehicle at one time, but you also have to factor in other risks that comes along with that, being that there are times when you have to leave patient unattended to tend to another person. So those things should be definitely factoring in as well. But
absolutely,
yeah.
So definitely make sure that this stuff is implemented in your policy, that your drivers are trained, and that there is a clause in your policy that states, the vehicles are not supposed to be left unattended when clients are inside. If you guys are looking for a policy, we have all that and more on our website. So definitely, we'll drop the link below. Go ahead and check all of our digital products out. But also, if you are liking the content that we're sharing, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this video with other aspiring entrepreneurs looking to get into the industry. But we wanted to share this story because this was real. Like, my mouth was dropped. I feel bad for the business owner, because at the end of the day, the family was actually on the news speaking, like the son, the 90-something-year-old guy, his son was on the news speaking. I know that they're probably going to go ahead and sue this company, right?
And is it the fair, publicity that they just got,
Is it fair to the business owner to be sued for that particular situation? Like, I kind of feel like no, because, well, I don't know.
I mean, because you're a business owner, but if you were the family member, you'll be asking a whole lot of questions. So it's, even when it comes to that, that's a hard one.
They're gonna sue. and their family is
The
gonna
father,
get paid.
I mean, because you have to think that was a traumatic event for the father. Like,
Yeah.
that is traumatic. We don't know how that is currently affecting him, and the type of help that they're going to have to seek for him to kind of, I mean, he's 93.
Yeah.
He's so fragile. Like, you know, so.
What do you guys think about this situation? Like, let us know. Who do you think should be at fault for this? Do you think the business owner should take responsibility for what happened, or do you think this was just something like an unexpected incident, and that the person that stole the vehicle
should be held accountable for every single thing, you know, across the board. Yeah. But let's post a video and have you guys to watch it and give us your thoughts, give us your input.
All right, you guys.